ladies and gentlemen, UT Arlington in the blue, DePaul University sporting the red as we kick this off.
Yep, and then we have to wait a fixture seconds to see exactly what these two teams want to bring, but so far, definitely, like we mentioned, the Winston has to be something that we are expecting from the two teams. The aggression that comes first is going to really define who's able to take control of the point. So DePaul University, I think they could take a little bit of an advantage here looking at their past results and how aggressive they like to be, but going against UT Arlington, it might be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, UT Arlington, definitely a team that likes to try to put together set plays, which is something that can be a really big danger to the more run and gun style teams like DePaul University. We're going to see Icarus now on the Widowmaker uncontested for DePaul University, having that sightline straight down mid, going to allow for the rest of the team to get up into position. And now DePaul catching UT Arlington in a bit of a tight spot. Gonna be able to use that tickle cannon to build up their ultimate. As Crow continues to tickle down Prime, gonna be able to get the first murder into the back line on an escaping Lordler. That's gonna be it right now for DPU. They're gonna be able to take control of the point and leave it to their Widowmaker to give a little bit of pressure in the back line.
Yeah, there's a lot of action going on, but DePaul University, as expected, they're the ones that are playing more aggressive. Icarus is having a hard time trying to get a few kills with the Widowmaker, but at least, you know, UT Arlington is on the field, and Saria getting 2 kills might be the opening that they were waiting for.
Yeah, Crit's doing a great job right now on this Zarya, controlling the point, able to find 2 kills, help with the 3rd and the 4th, and still come out of it at a decently hard charge. UT Arlington are going to be able to take first point back in their own favor. DePaul at 18%. They got a little bit on the board.
Yeah, but UT Arlington, ideal situation for them. They're about to have that EMP very, very early on. So if they can engage next fight with it, that would put the team in an ideal situation to keep holding the point. They also have the Graviton Surge. DePaul University can engage here, but they know their risk. So they might wait a little bit to join in.
You saw Prime over on the flank, looking for a target. Pulse Bomb comes out. Not going to find any purchase, however. The members of DePaul University still picking up kills. They find 2, putting it to a 4v6. Prime blinking through and being a terror. Zeph finds the kill and crates. Oh, using the left or right click, gonna take themselves out a little bit too close to the wall. So DePaul will be able to take the point back as long as they can mitigate and take care of that Sombra, which they will be able to do.
In a very well way for DePaul University to retake that point. UT Arlington, though, ultimate economy, all 6 ultimates, they decided to not use them last fight. A little bit surprising, but now they have them for this fight. They can initiate once again with the EMP, the primary ration. That should be enough for them to take the fight against DePaul University.
Oh, got detected coming out of the EMP. Still able to find 5-6. Gets all the team. DePaul now running away, but the Graviton's here to stay and keep them in place. That's going to be it now. UT Arlington able to take the point, but expending a lot of their ultimates to do it. DePaul still able to keep the stall alive for a little bit longer and build up a couple of ultimates in the process. Getting that charge up to, that control up to 58%. And still, more respawns coming through to keep the ticker ticking. They're going to get an extra 10% off of that.
UT Arlington, they used pretty much every single ultimate that they had, and that was a very risky play. DePaul University managed to get only 66%, but that's more than enough for them to engage into the next fight. But the Nano going to the Winston, that's a very good situation, but UT Arlington should be taking the advantage. So far, we just see the teams taking the point back and forth, but now it's where they need to decide who's going to take it at the end.
You see those dragons coming online for Icarus. Gonna toss it into the fray. DePaul University using the chaos to find a couple of kills while Prime taking out that EMP. Still a Primal Rage online for UT Arlington, and not the same for DePaul as Crow had to go back to spawn. UTA bouncing back there at the very end.
And the last push for UT Arlington is going to be a little bit delayed. It seems like we have a pause. But as I was saying, UT Arlington, and they have the momentum going for them to keep playing aggressive. DePaul University, they seem to have the ultimate economy at some point, but then they lost it.
Yeah, it looked like UT Arlington, after that big dump of ultimates, they've been doing a really good job of cutting off DePaul University from building that ult bank back up. They had nothing going into that first fight, and you know, like you said, looking at the bank right now, they were able to get that dragon up. from Icarus, but that was pretty much it. You see Echo Loco and the Tracer Prime both still sub 50% on those ultimates. So if DePaul wants to get back into this fight, that ult charge is going to have to increase.
And it was even surprising to see UT Arlington. They had all 6 ultimates, they used 4 of them, and it took a long time for DePaul University to finally leave point for them to be able to capture it. So it was very risky, but at the end of the day, seems like it's turning out well for them. It's going to pass the 90%. This is one last fight territory.
With the Primal Rage still online, however, for Crow knows. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Crow sleeps. Not gonna really be able to get it done there. And Prime also going to get taken down, and a mistimed pulse bomb from Doot. Doot gonna get gobbled up by Echo Loco as Crow tries to get a couple of members off the map, but getting hacked out of that Primal Rage is gonna make it difficult for him to stay alive. Freed's able to find 2 kills into the back line for UT Arlington, and they still have that EMP online. They're not even gonna need to use it. The rally from Super Juice gonna push it through. But a pretty toe-to-toe fight so far. Bit of a miscue on a couple of ultimates on both sides of the fence, but other than that, I have a feeling we're in for a bit of a brawl.
Yeah, it really seems like that's going to be the case. And I like that you mentioned the ultimates. I think it's a mistake that both of the teams have been making over and over again. When they have the ultimate economy, that doesn't mean that they have to use every single ultimate. They have to plan what they're going to engage with, what ultimate they want to use in the middle of the fight if it's necessary, and just have that rotation of ultimates coming through if they want to take the advantage. UT Arlington does have 1 point, but it was very close, and when we see those control maps already having both teams taking the point back and forth, and that's already an indication of it having the potential to be a long match.
Well, it's going to be it's been a long time, I mean, since I've seen the Echo played, so Prime and Dude both going to be bringing it out here on the Lighthouse. Let's see which one is going to be the better AI of the skies. However, the rest of the compositions staying relatively the same.
Yeah, they're just playing this very slowly for UT Arlington, but already the first pick, that's exactly what they need before even taking control of the point. DePaul University, though, you're not very sure how to play here.
Yeah, after that first pick, you see them playing a bit coyly. Don't want to approach as a 5-man squad this early on. Usually just ends up in giving a lot of ult charge to the opposing team. But now, as the respawns are back in, they try to collapse onto the Winston, onto the high ground. But Lordler is going to be able to get out alive with a lot of pressure coming in from the Echoes. But the ult charge on both sides for these DPS has been relatively slow, barring Dez's EMP up at the 50% mark. UT Arlington having a firm hold on the point. DePaul University still trying to figure out the best way to go about this, so they're just going to go ahead and rush right on in. They've got Zeph on the Zenyatta, almost up to a Transcendence already, dishing out the Discord orbs as DePaul takes the point away from UT Arlington in a pretty aggressive take.
Yeah, Prime gives 3, and that gives the team the opening that they were waiting for. The ZP is lined up from DePaul University, doing a really good job so far, but only 36% for UT Arlington. No EMP, which is definitely their winning condition here, so they have to wait for at least one more fight before engaging. That's going to give DePaul University the advantage.
Oh, and Dez not expecting it, getting turned on by that Zenyatta. Zap able to find the kill, and now DePaul still finding themselves in a fruition position in the kill feed. Lordler trying to stabilize with the Primal, but getting put to sleep in the process by an Echoed on a Prime. Using that Echo location to build up yet another very quick nano boost. DePaul University in a very strong position on the point. Not really worrying too much about what UT Arlington's throwing at them.
Save and the Zenyatta doing so good. Also putting the Discord orbs, putting the pressure to the enemy team. Exactly what you should be doing in the supporting role. And now UT Arlington having a difficult time. They have the EMP, but they can't really figure out the best way to engage.
As long as this EMP can connect, that's all that they need right now. Oh no, Dez getting detected and taken out of invisibility, uses the EMP, still able to find 3, but the follow-up damage not there due to the self-destruct from Echo Loco. Didn't get hit by the EMP, but Doot doesn't care, finding 2 as UTA continues to fight the point. Looks like they're going to be able to take it back. DePaul University once again trying to stagger a couple of members on for a bit of a stall, but it's not going to play out the way that they had planned. 40% and counting. And DePaul, bit of a different team.
Yeah, the Egg is definitely making the opening that the teams are waiting for. It's not even the EMP and the response to it, but the Egg is just having and putting so much damage into the enemy of what's giving the opening here now, especially with the duplicate for Dude is exactly what they were waiting for to have that percentage from DePaul University.
Using that duplicate onto the D.Va. Already having that self-destruct online as Dez, able to find Crow on the escape route. No self-destruct used at all on this ultimate, just pure D.Va insanity.
Yeah, just trying to get a few kills with self-destruct. Doesn't really get any, everyone's just far away. DePaul University, they know that they have to regroup if they want to take the advantage. It's going to be one last fight, and UT Arlington are taking the advantage here with the positioning that they're taking.
Yeah, not really allowing DePaul University to have any sort of poke ability at all. Crow gonna go in, gets the nano boost at the very end there. Prime as well, copying onto the Winston. The Primal Rage will get kicked out from both of the monkeys. Except for Prime. Prime doesn't have the jump to get back up. Gonna fall down, and that's gonna be all there is to it. UT Arlington now with the kills they need to take the point in EMP for the final nail in the coffin. As they take the second point of Ilios to DePaul University, there was a lot riding on that echoed Winston, and oh, such an unfortunate demise.
DePaul University, they made it really, really close, but it just wasn't enough. UT Arlington were the ones taking those fights, and DePaul University, it seems like they wanted to regroup every single time, but it just wasn't quite there, and that just made the whole difference for them.
And what a play from Dez. The Sombra definitely making a difference. Really the only switch up as far as team composition team compositions go was Dez not playing the Tracer and opting for that Sombra pick. Definitely played out for them. UT Arlington taking that first map. DePaul really needs to fire back strong as we move into Eichenwald.
Yeah, but this still gives me a really good sign from what we're going to see from DePaul University now, because last week they did pretty good. And now for this week, from what we saw so far, it's not very often where we see control maps going back and forth between the teams. And maybe they can do it once, but the amount of times that we saw, it's already a good indication of how close these teams are in terms of the level, that skill. So for the next maps, it might be something that benefits DePaul University more to take us to that 1-1.
And Eichenwald can be a map that can be polarizing as far as, you know, which team, when it comes to being coordinated and having that synergy, is going to be number one. It can be extremely difficult just to get that first point, but getting across that bridge on second point, in my opinion, can be one of the most difficult things to do.
Yeah, Eichenwald, definitely a very interesting map. I like seeing a strong defense from the beginning. That's already a good indication of how the teams are going to play, especially when they go and attack. But whoever takes the defense first, a little bit of an advantage, and they can play even a different composition. They can even play the double shield if they really want to bring it. But so far, definitely expecting that Wednesday to come through, and it all lays on how mobile those DPS lines are going to be. If it's going to be the Echo and the Tracer trying to get those lines, trying to get those kills, and that's what might give the teams an advantage.
And, you know, based on what we've seen, that's what we're gonna get. We both teams opting to utilize the mobility over everything else. Support line, however, do you keep the same support line going into Eichenwald? Do you continue with the Anna Brig?
The Anna Breaker is just a little bit of a risky play, but it works for this team. So it's something that I'm expecting. I think the anti-nades and the potential for every single ability of Anna's kit is so good that you just cannot ignore, especially when you have the Winston diving, trying to go to the back line, and you have the Anna also trying to give a little bit of support, but the Nano then followed by the Primal Rage. So I do like seeing it more, but I think we haven't seen the potential that the teams can bring us to when we see the Anna, when we see the Brig. I think those rallies, they haven't been really used to initiate as much as I would like to, but they are working. So again, I do expect to see it again.
Yeah. DePaul looks like they're going to be taking the defensive side as we while we go to Eichenwald, which I'm not surprised to see, you take the L on that first map, so it's a good decision to, like you said, defense on Eichenwald gets to set the pace. You get a little bit more leniency with what you throw at that attacking team, and if you can stop them there on that first point, it's a big mind game thing. It's not, just
Yeah.
the mechanical game is important, but the mental game is just as important. If you can stop a team like that, then when you go into the attack, you take that point really quickly, you go into the next point, and they're suddenly going, whoa, hold on, what just happened? Did we just lose? How? What?
Yeah, I really like seeing the defense because of that. It just puts a lot of pressure into the mental game as well. So DePaul University starting on the defense. I'm very curious to see how exactly they're planning this. We're already seeing their composition, more of that Rhinestar, the bro style. The very interesting. It hasn't been popular in the past couple of months. It hasn't really been meta, but still something you can pull off with a lot of coordination for your team. The main concern though is that if UT Arlington decides to stick with the Sombra, which seems like it might be the case, then that's very risky for the entire brawl. You're going to completely deny any sort of abilities for DePaul University here.
Yeah, whether it's taking down that Reinhardt shield or stopping Creates from putting any projected barriers out.
Yeah.
That's a really big play. It looks like Dez still gonna stay under the Sombra, not to mention with Zeph onto the immobile hero of Zenyatta. The dive definitely knows exactly who they want to target. We're seeing a good hold off at the very beginning. DePaul gonna have to fall. Pro already getting hacked out and having to run around the corner, and UTA, dinner bell's been rung. They're gonna go ahead and just press W and find themselves a little bit of purchase onto the point. DePaul's haven't had to give up a lot of space already. And the ult charge for DePaul University, however, is going to be their saving grace. Prime at 70% to that Deadeye. Get that online, get the Graviton online, and you're going to be able to hold this defense. Zeph in the back line able to find the kill to start things off. And DePaul University is going to continue to sit pretty.
Woo! That look a little bit risky for the side of the defense, so they managed to stay in point. DePaul University doing a really good job here. UT Arlington was gaining a lot of space, and that seemed concerning, but really good kills. The Yeka gets taken down. The Sombra gets forced to go the way back. Now, UT Arlington, this is the push that we've been waiting for. That EMP is about to be ready. They're also going to have to duplicate pretty soon. That should be enough for them to get point here.
Oh, good reflexes from Echo Loco to stop the hack onto the Reinhardt. And that's going to be a nano boosted 100 charge Zarya right in your face. Graviton to kick it off. It's going to UC Arlington answering back quickly with an EMP. Graviton that's going to take the entire team out of contention. The shatter isn't going to matter because it's no longer there. And UTA with 2 minutes and 17 seconds are going to start control here.
Definitely the ultimate economy that was benefiting them. Even though this Zarya from DePaul University was nanoed, it just wasn't enough. There was an anti-nade, there was also sleep, a lot of really good reactions from the Ana for UT Arlington that made it possible. So now the payload is going to start moving, and with that, the teams are fighting to take the high ground.
It looks like Prime going to be doing a good job of deterring UT Arlington from getting settled and comfortable on that high ground. But you can see the Echo not really giving any purchase or paying too much attention to the McCree, and gets knocked off the below ground. Probably not going to see a Graviton out of that Echo, but that's all right as they trade out. DePaul University continuing with the defense, but the payload still continuing to move. They haven't done anything to contest it. Now dropping down to the 5-man squad of UT Arlington as we see another member from DePaul fall. 5v5 onto the payload for DePaul University.
Seems a little bit risky here, but in the meantime, it seems like UT Arlington is going to take advantage here. With their rally, they're pushing back. I'm not sure the drop from DePaul University was the best idea.
Yeah, maybe wait a little bit longer for that for your whole team to be there, for that payload to turn that corner, but Lordler so impatient from UTA. He's gonna go ahead and pop in with the Primal Rage. He finds Ephraim, so no Sleep Dart to stop the Monkey. Looking for the kill onto the McCree, but has to back out. The focus fires come through. Can't fit through the window. No, Lortler.
So close, but it just wasn't enough, and the payload just it gives an advantage for the payload to keep moving. The monkey just once again playing a little bit aggressive. This Winston, UT Arlington, they have the momentum going, but it seems like finally they're forced to go the way back. DePaul University getting those kills.
And Icarus on this Hanzo has been an absolute terror for DePaul. Just consistency has been the issue. It's been every other fight that we've seen them popping off, and I want to see those headshots every single fight.
Icarus, last week we saw the exact same thing. Any hero that we saw Icarus playing, be able to pop off, get those headshots, get those kills right at the beginning, just like we saw Prime getting good there. Now UT Arlington has to wait a little bit longer before that proper engagement.
And 87% to the Graviton for DePaul University. They have the team wiping combination online. No support ultimates for UT Arlington. Double grab coming out. There's the Deadeye coming out from Prime. They're going to use the Dragons against the grab. Echo Loco did not commit it, I'm sorry. And Prime only able to find one. Does his EMP is going to take DePaul University and put them onto the defensive heel as UT Arlington continues to find the kills and the trades continuing to come through. Which Deadeye is it going to be? Is it going to be the Ash or the McCree? That's going to be finding themselves on top, of course. It's going to be the McCree. DePaul University going to keep their defense alive. 1 minute and 35 seconds left for UT Arlington.
Really good job from DePaul University. Shutting down that rally, not allowing Super Juice to get any value, and now gets taken down again in a bad positioning. 1 minute 25. That means about 2 more fights that UT Arlington can get on the second checkpoint. Doesn't seem like it's going to be easy. No ultimates for them available besides that Nano, and even then, DePaul University also has it.
And you can see Icarus just checking continuously for that Sombra. Has the Sonic Arrow, he's shooting it into this little cubby. Not really gonna find much from it though, but Nano Boost coming out from Colby needs to be absolutely vital here. Nano Boost onto the Winston, Primal Rage. Crow has it in the pocket if needed, gets slapped, but immediately woken back up and taken down with an amazing combination of burst damage and an anti-nade from Colby. UTA taking their time here with their engagement. Super Juice at 58% to the Transcendence. And that Transcendence needs to get online very, very quickly. But back to spawn goes Super Juice, and the dinner bell's been rung for DePaul University. There's the Graviton, followed up by the Dragons. There's no Transcendence to help out. Zeph, however, is going to be embracing the Iris there at the very end.
Yeah, this Winston trying to get 2 kills with a Primal Rage coming out, but it seems like it's not going to be enough for UT Arlington. Winston gets taken down the EMP, but it might just be too late for them.
Yeah, the hack was there, but the follow-up damage just not going to come through. Graviton on point to make sure the Hammond can't spin to win, and then pick off the rest of the members that are straggling behind. UT Arlington, you know, not a bad push, but not able to secure that second point.
It was very close, but it definitely proved the point that we were talking about the importance of the defense and how close these two teams were in terms of skill. DePaul University doing a really good job on the defense, and now they have to prove the same on the attack. And it's actually a little bit surprising to see, because when we saw that control map, both of the teams were really good at attacking, taking control of the point, but defending it no so much. So that's why they were losing it over and over again. But that's one of the unique things about control maps. When we go into these hybrid maps like Akinwall, we see completely different things. Like DePaul is showing us. Icarus, where we talked about this player being definitely the opener for those picks and allowing DePaul University to keep controlling this space. The Arlington, they have to have a really good defense now.
A good defense isn't even gonna cut it. They're gonna have to have a great defense, and they're also not going to change much up about their composition. Doot no longer on that Echo, going to be taking that McCree. Makes it a little bit easier for them. And DePaul University, you know, that Ryan Zarya, it worked. They got pushed back here and there, but ultimately it was successful, so they're not going to change much up except for that Lucio.
And that Lucio actually making a big difference. They're going to full bro style here, and I really like seeing this from DePaul University. Seems like they wanted to play this composition from the beginning, and it might be something that there is to their comfort phase. They will be pushing forward, and the speed boost also benefiting them a lot.
Yeah, able to get them onto the point very quickly, but the damage still coming through from UT Arlington. Speed can't heal you. Crow knows that better than anybody else at this moment, but DePaul University still able to take a lot of space, and that's the important part of that push. You see Crow switching over to the Winston to make sure that they can get back to point quickly as Icarus finds one, finds two. Into the back line, this Hanzo's been going crazy. If they're able to take this in the first fight, they're able to do so without letting UT Arlington get the ultimates online. Prime able to find two as he's running away from the Winston. Finds the Zenyatta on the escape. Comes out from behind the Winston and takes him out. Prime, you dirty, dirty McCree.
Prime gets those 4 kills. Really good job. Really good control of this hero. And now we see why DePaul University, they want to play a composition a little bit different. They're bringing them McCree, and it's turned out to be so effective. Now they have the momentum going. They have 5 minutes remaining for them to get to noting the second checkpoint. Icarus with a headshot as well. This is really good for the DPS lineup of DePaul University.
And we're watching Chronos try and play a little bit of catch up to his teammates on that ult charge. But other than that, DePaul University, very, very strong attack off the bat. Dude will have the Deadeye for UT Arlington, but it's a very difficult ultimate to set up against mobile and shielded targets like DePaul University's characters. Up on the high ground as the battle's beginning to ensue from across the bridge, you see Dude trying to find an angle off to the left side, but not many members sitting there, so not gonna find anything except for Icarus as they jump back. Lurtler as well in the Primal Rage, not finding too much purchase, but is able to get into the back line, and UT Arlington, cascade of kills, are going to be able to put this push to bed, at least for now. They've got to use a lot to do it.
There's still a lot of time remaining, though, and the ultimate economy for DePaul University looking as good as it can be. They have almost every ultimate besides that Graviton Surge, and that might not even be something they're going to be missing. UT Arlington, the best winning condition that they have is going to be that EMP. But after that, just about the managing of those ultimates, and there you go.
EMP only going to find one, though, from Dez. Bit of a questionable decision trying to preempt the push from DePaul University, but it came by just a little bit late. Dragons are going to be a bit of a game changer, however, for DePaul. They're able to find one and push a second kill into Icarus's grasp. And now Prime with a Deadeye moving along with the payload, but his team killing members before he can pull the trigger.
Yeah, there you go. There's the kills, and this is going to be one last fight for DePaul University. They're still moving that payload, and they're doing so good. They did use quite a lot of ultimates, but still, that nano that they can use at the end, and they don't even need those ultimates when the kills keep coming through.
Yeah, they're able to find the members of UT Arlington kind of corralled into one of these two little archways that you can see on your screen. And with that, they were able to mitigate their respawn long enough to get that golden box.
Very, very good job from DePaul University. Once we were talking about this, we were talking about the importance of the defense and it being effective, and that's exactly what DePaul University just showed to us. How effective they were, and how that also plays a role in the mental game that comes through with Overwatch, and how good it was at shutting down UT Arlington over and over again. I saw the support lineup getting killed every single time, and that completely denied any single possibility for UT Arlington. It was a little bit tricky, but at the end of the day, it's very close, but it's just those few mistakes, especially with the ultimates, is what made the difference.
Yeah, and just so you guys at home know that score down below, DePaul University does have one against UT Arlington's one, but we're going to go to a break before we go into our third map, ladies and gentlemen, so don't go anywhere because we will be right back with Temple of Anubis. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with DePaul University versus UT Arlington. As we've got to do something about this tie, Dryad. It's a 1-1, and we're going to Temple of Anubis. We talked a little bit in the break about how, based off of the Eichenwald matchup, DePaul, in my opinion, the favor going into this next match. But UTA, what are you looking at to do? What are the win conditions for them going into Temple of Anubis?
Yeah, UT Arlington. I'm very curious to see what they're going to bring here because we haven't seen a lot of variety coming through. And even though the Sombra, that EMP can be very strong, that doesn't mean that it's always going to work. So I'm always very hesitant to see this hero because for control maps where when everyone's together, yeah, you can pull it off. But there's some other situation where it gets a little bit tricky, not because you can't get the 3-man EMP, but because it forces your team to have that follow-up coming through. And if it doesn't happen, then that hero is not going to be as effective as it would be maybe a Tracer, maybe an Echo, like we've talked about. So for Temple of Anubis, I either want to see a very effective Sombra, everyone working together from the side of UT Sports, or I want to see a different hero coming through, just putting that pressure to the enemy.
Attackers incoming in 30
Well, it looks like you're gonna get, at least on the defensive side, you're still gonna get the same lineup from UT Arlington. Dude on the McCree and D's onto that Sombra.
Yeah, and now it's just a matter of really the execution of these heroes and how they can make it work. Dude, on the McCree, very interesting to see how it's going to work out. DePaul University, I mean, we do have to wait a few extra seconds to see exactly what they want to bring, but the Winston, with how aggressive we saw him playing before, then it's very risky for the McCree if it's left alone.
Prime looking for that opening pick. Looks like DePaul University going for that double sniper. They're not leaving any of these close quarter combat situations a chance. They're gonna go ahead and just take these fights from afar. They know that that dive is most likely coming from DePaul University. But Prime not really able to find too much of the purchase, able to get out with the grapple after the Winston jumps in, so they're gonna be safe for now as Crow having to battle their counterpart here on the stairs, getting mighty low, but able to stay up due to some superior healing from Epim and Zeph. And both teams just kind of picking around, and oh, speaking of picks, Duke gonna get sent back to spawn by Prime.
That might be the opening that we're waiting for, but now they just have to play aggressive into point, forcing everyone to touch here, and there you go, the attack is definitely having an advantage here. DePaul University gets you though.
Yeah, DPU able to push on to point with the high charge, Zarya leading the way, and that's gonna make a pretty easy train onto the point, Echo Loco. Gonna be able to take that there to Paul. Moving on to the second point, they're gonna have those sights. They almost have a dragon, and they are very close to that Graviton, and the support ultimates from UT Arlington are on the horizon at best.
And I don't know if we're gonna see this Widowmaker committing until the end, but definitely waiting on those DPS to be able to push in. That's exactly what DePaul University is waiting for. And in the meantime, just putting that pressure into the front line. There you go. That's the first pick.
No one.
Yeah, Lola trying to do a bit of a feint there on the jump to get the Widowmaker off the high ground, but gets taken down by a massive amount of burst damage in the process. You see that Graviton come out from UT Arlington, and the counter drop from Echo Loco comes out, but the dragons aren't online. They got taken out by Creates. So UT Arlington able to have a strong defensive play here, not only in holding the point, but the Grav Dragon no longer available for DePaul.
Very surprising to see UT Arlington getting so much value out of that Graviton Surge. It doesn't seem like it's something that happens that often, but UT Arlington definitely taking the advantage of it. Now you can expect the EMP from them. Now you can expect the rally, and for DePaul University, they still have quite a lot of opportunities. I'm not the biggest fan of the Doomfist though. I'm not sure how much value you can get out of it without getting taken down.
Gonna be sneaking around to the right side. You see Dez bundled up, trying to find as much with EMP as they can. Find 4. Dude in the backline on the Tracer, doing what they were born to do, finding those assassination-style picks. Prime gonna get sent back to spawn. UT Arlington now with pretty much an ambush of a defense. They're gonna keep things stable, but they're gonna lose 2 as they begin to get a little bit too aggressive. DePaul gonna smell blood in the water, and they're gonna move forward.
Yeah, I don't know if the timing for the aggression for this Hanzo is just right. Everyone from the team are just coming back, and it just might not be exactly time. But there you go, gets taken down. Not the best push here.
Yeah, DePaul, this is the second time where they've committed one half of a great combo into the fight, and a little bit haphazardly. Didn't have the whole team moving on to the point, and because of that, got pushed all the way back to their spawn yet again. You see Lordler now just kind of trying to find out where this Sombra is, what Prime's doing. But DePaul University having a difficult time getting onto the point.
Yeah, they had the momentum. They got those 2 picks by Icarus, but you really need a crowd nose at least with your Winston to push in, and they didn't have it. This Winston was just coming back, so now it gets a little bit harder for them.
Oh, pulse bomb into the Graviton, finds nothing due to the transcendence from Zeph. and the nano boost from F-Bomb is going to put Chronos into the back line to help lead the charge for DePaul University. UT Arlington having trouble keeping the defense alive with 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. The respawn's now coming through. Create's trying to keep it alive with the Hammond. Be an absolute terror on this final point of Anubis, but not able to do so. The focus fire from DePaul is there. With that, should be able to take the point. Lorler able to find a bit of a consolation as the EMP comes through to change the stakes, you should say. Able to find 2 kills. Dez echolocating out, but still, the first point of the point has not been taken.
DePaul University, it seems like they almost got it, but no one was looking at the Sombra coming back. And now the Sombra we need to talk about is Prime from the side of DePaul University. EMP is going to be ready. Dez doesn't have it, just use it. And now winning condition, that's exactly what they're waiting for. 2 minutes, they're remaining quite a lot of time, but they want to get it as soon as possible.
And you can see Prime trying to line this up just perfectly. But the translocator going to give their positioning away. Doot trying to find them, is able to do so, and forces them to back out. Super Juice trying to get there just in time to make sure it can't happen. They are not going to let him go. The hack comes through from Dez, and Prime, taken from a Tracer to a Brig to another Sombra, isn't able to find any fruition. UT Arlington able to keep this alive for now, but DePaul University finally connecting their Grab Dragons on the point.
The respawn advantage definitely benefiting UT Arlington, but they will be swapping into the Wrecking Ball to the Diva. No one is able to touch though. DePaul University, they're left with 1 minute 20 remaining. Not bad for the map.
Not bad at all, especially given that they were able to take that first point so quickly. UT Arlington able to run the gauntlet, almost 5 minutes on the defense, and able to whittle it down to 1:20. That's an achievable goal, you know?
Yeah, it all started with the Graviton Surge, and then they were able to get those kills when we saw the Primo Rage, and then it was also a couple mistakes from DePaul University that were a little bit risky for them. They were using more ultimates. We saw Crown Nose using that Primo Rage when the fight was over. Not really getting any value. That delayed the whole push. It could have happened sooner, but you just need that team synergy for it to happen.
Yeah, when it comes to the 2CP maps, when it comes down to Assault, it's the one map style, in my opinion, where the synergy and how well you guys execute those pushes as a full team, this is where it's the most important.
DePaul University, I mean, seems like now they would have bring the Echo again from Prime. And Prime, we've seen this player bring a lot of different heroes so far. We saw a little bit of Doomfist, didn't get any value. The Sombra also got taken down in the wrong moment right at the end. But now we get to see once again a little bit of the Echo. I do like making this decision, and I think it's going to be really strong for them. A lot of damage coming through.
And right off the bat, we're seeing a little bit of early damage, but UT Arlington still don't have a lot of information on where the members of DePaul are holding. And onto the bridge goes Lortler. Dez getting taken out immediately, and now the Monkey's in a bit of trouble. Held up against that wall to mitigate the burst damage, but the bubble from Creates is going to be a big play, keeping that Monkey in the fight for just a little bit longer as they battle around the bridge. DePaul University having to deal with a couple of flankers from UT Arlington, but doing so in spades and in pride. Prime now on to the hunt.
Trying to get a few kills, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be as easy. Everyone getting killed as we see Prime gets 2. DePaul University having this momentum going on for them.
Oh, and the Primal Rage from Lordler is going to change the name of the game and the pace as well, finding 2 with the help of Dez. You see Prime off onto the hunt, knows the Winston is stuck back here, and that it's a one fight as long as they stay away from the range of that tickle cannon. Prime able to do so. DePaul University going to put a stagger into the push of UT Arlington.
Out of all heroes that we've seen from Prime, Echo has definitely been up there. Out of the best one, Duplicate is going to be Freddy, and DePaul University managed to still hold the point even after a few mistakes were made. Now, the engagement here is going to be really important for them to keep holding UT Arlington. They haven't really figured out their way in.
And with Icarus having those dragons online, Apostle Echo onto the Zarya, but they've got a grab of their own. Echo Loco waiting for the perfect moment for UT Arlington to get grouped up. There goes the nano boost, and Chronos decides to jump into the back line. There's the Graviton coming out from Echo Loco, and it's gonna land. Icarus deciding not to commit those dragons just yet, as the kills for DePaul University are already there.
Finally, once again, the cleanup happening. A fight that lasted a little bit longer than DePaul University felt comfortable with, but still enough for them to keep holding the point. And the time for UT Arlington is running out. They have to figure out the best way to engage with those ultimates, and now it has to be that EMP. That has to be effective. DePaul University, in the meantime, all they can do is hope that the Brig doesn't get the EMP. They actually are going to engage first with this. I like it.
Yeah, they're going to be using that rally right off of the bat and creates almost up to a Graviton for UT Arlington. You can see Dez now coming through with that EMP, able to find 4 members of DePaul. That's going to be not the plan that they sought, as DePaul still able to find the kills that they need.
Yeah, that
down.
EMP is just not enough, unfortunately. UT Arlington, that's exactly what we're talking about. Even if you have the EMP, even if you get 3 members, 4 members, you really need your team to help you out get those kills. If not, it's pretty much that whole ultimate being wasted. DePaul University really good on the defense here. 1 minute that they had 20, and Kisses goes to another round. UT Arlington already struggling to do something on those 35 seconds.
Yeah, and you can see that the panic starting to set in a bit for Arlington in their composition. The Hammond, the Winston, both coming out, trying to get a little bit more mobility, trying to deal with Chronos a little bit better. This Winston for DePaul University has had pretty much free reign on the entire point, entire attack. Echo Loco going to expend another Graviton. You had that last fight, Echo. Super Juice as well, gonna be taking down Prime and Icarus. The DPS for DePaul University pairing up to absolutely destroy UT Arlington on this defense. They are not going to get a tick. And DePaul University is gonna be 1 map away from taking the day.
Doing really good DePaul University compared to what we saw from them on that first map. They look like a completely different team. Really good control from them. Really good ultimate economy. They definitely talked those out. They really figure out exactly what they wanted to use first. And in the meantime, for UT Arlington, they're just really struggling to have those proper engagements. They have the right heroes. They have the right compositions. But now it's just a matter of that delivery that is not quite there.
Yep, the small things are kind of eating away at Arlington. You know, a couple of mistimed ults here and there. 1 or 2 rotations that went a little bit too far and gave an extra sight line. Just they're not making big mistakes. It's just small things that are adding up in the end.
Yeah, they're adding up, and it comes to that maybe they're not regrouping, they're not going all together, then they use an ultimate that's not going to benefit them, and obviously they're not going to have it for the next minute to get it again. So yeah, like you said, it's just things accumulating together that are really affecting UT Arlington, but they still have the possibility to make a comeback. We saw that first map, and they looked really good in it.
They did. And moving on to our next map, which is going to be Rialto, the dynamic changes a bit. Both Eichenwald and Temple of Anubis points that heavily allow for the snowball, if you will. Rialto, in my opinion, one of the few maps that defensively you have very defined positions where you can put down some of the most staunch defenses in Overwatch. The courtyard on first point, the Isle of Death, as me and Chef Billy like to call it, where the stairs and the boats are on that second point, going into the archway on the third point. These 3 places are spots where defensively you have the chance to completely decimate your opponent just because of the layout of the map.
Yeah, I really like that you mentioned those stairs on second point. I think that's one of the hardest points to pass on the map in Rialto. And I'm very curious to see exactly what they're going to bring, because we can expect the same sort of compositions, but then what makes the difference here is got to be UT Arlington really bringing a difference in the style that they're playing. They have to play more aggressive, but they have to play together as well. And for DePaul University, if they're able to start on the defense again, then they're already going to take the advantage here. We already saw how well they did when we saw them on Eichenwald, but they have to bring it again. And with that momentum, I think we could see a 3-1 happening on Rialto.
I agree. We've definitely seen DePaul do a little bit better when it comes to those coordinated pushes and Rialto. Just to talk about the first point, getting across that courtyard as a coordinated team, it's not necessarily that difficult. There are rotations that you can take to make sure that you go about that safely. But going against a well coordinated team, it can be absolutely painstaking of a process. I mean, if you've got a Torbjorn turret in just the right spot, or if you have teams rotating and peeling behind those vases into the mega, into the mini to get away from you and come back into the fight. All of that can be an absolute barrier to you getting to that very first point. And we saw UT Arlington have an issue with that on Temple of Anubis. The question is, are they going to have an issue with that when we go down to Rialto?
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring the same thing again. I'm not very sure if I want to see a Sombra here. I just don't think you're getting as much value out of Sombra as you would get out of other heroes, other DPS that you can play and can be on the backline, putting the pressure to the tanks, melting the health of the tanks, exactly what you do. If you're playing Sombra, it can be effective, but so far depends a lot on the synergy that you have with the team, and it doesn't seem to be quite there for any of the two teams. So I would go for more of the safe route, going for those heroes that put a lot of damage. If you want to go for a hit scan, if you want to go Echo Tracer, even that's still a possibility. But Sombra just doesn't seem as effective as I would want to.
Yeah, I definitely like to see. I'm always a big fan of seeing Ashe played on Rialto.
Yeah.
I think that the sight lines there are absolutely fantastic. Widowmaker not so much, just because Ashe does bring a little bit more to the team fight than Widowmaker does with that TNT. You know, you still have the escape with the coach gun, but then when it comes down to that stairwell, if you can have Bob when you get to those stairs, it's a done deal. You've at least got that defense for 15, 20 seconds, which can be the difference between winning or losing the map.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I like that you mentioned the Ashe. We see a lot of Hiskins on this map, especially. So even though we saw a little bit of that Widowmaker on that first map in Ilios, it wasn't as effective when you go for more of that safe pick of the Ashe. Then it gives the possibility as well as that mobility a little bit as well for Ashe that I really like to see. Bob, like you mentioned. And now it's all just a matter of those engagements. I saw a lot of UT Arlington's Brig dying first, and it can be something that the team has to be a little more conscious of. Where this break is, why is she getting taken down? Is it, is it DePaul University countering this break, trying to take her down first, or is it maybe that positioning that's not quite there? If you lose your break, then that's going to give the enemy team that momentum to attack, because you already lost one support, and that's already bad enough. So DePaul University definitely took advantage of that. They might do the same, but UT Arlington, they might also catch on to it and try to do something else.
That's what my hope is for them. I hope that they, if they're going, okay, so they've noticed that we have some sort of deficit here on our bridge play. They keep targeting Zeph. Start targeting that. Allow them to target Zeph, and then collapse onto that brig. Take out whatever aspect of DePaul University's composition is currently invested in that fight. Win there, and then move on to the front lines.
Yeah, because when we see those mirror matchups between the two teams, we do see that UT Arlington tries to take the advantage, and they almost do, but now they have to try to commit to it again. Kronos gets gulped.
Oh, no.
I don't know what happened there.
Oh no. Pretty sure that wasn't intentional, but regardless, UT Arlington protect the president, teleport the Bastion to the high ground, and let them unleash rain of bullets. Sadly enough, no DePaul University to be seen, as they are going to be waiting for their Winston to come back from spawn. Unfortunate indeed.
Yeah, they definitely needed the Winston, and now Winston's back, but now the rest of the team has to be able to get that positioning again. They might not get it, but there you go.
Bit of a dirty way to come about at UT Arlington, and DePaul University are gonna go ahead and deal with it pretty quickly and pretty handedly. If that was my solo queue competitive games, I'm pretty sure UT Arlington would have just won the game.
Yeah, and UT Arlington going for a very interesting strategy with the Bastion, and it can be effective, but DePaul University now has to figure out a way to counter it. In the meantime, the payload gets to move a little bit more. DePaul University, I don't know if they want to commit to this composition here, knowing that the Bastion is playing so aggressively.
Oh man, and Ephraim just a split second of being scoped in, didn't see that Dude had been set up, able to take him down, and this time around, the Bastion not being taken down so easily. And I'm liking the fluidity that we're seeing from UTA. This is a strategy that you don't see very often, how quickly they're teleporting their Bastion from place to place.
No.
And it's throwing DePaul for a loop. It's like DePaul doesn't know what to do right now.
The support gets taken down again for DePaul University, and now they have to wait even more. Those ultimates, this is just going to guarantee the point.
Although I thought that was going to be an absolutely fantastic Gravitic Flux, but it is going to set up a double kill for Icarus. Crow now onto the Primal Rage, just trying to sustain for a little bit longer. As Creates uses their own Gravitic Flux, but finds nothing with it. Zeph on the Brig has the rally at the ready. Crow down to almost 40 health, but still, nobody can deal with the Bastion. Dude hasn't been killed yet. He's gonna be one of the last ones to die.
Okay, DePaul University, I do like seeing this change. I do like seeing the aggression and paying off the defense. Able to hold at least for a little bit longer. ET Arlington, they are still committing to that composition. But now, DePaul University, they're expecting the Bastion. They can prepare for it a little bit better. Dude does have the ultimate, but it's not going to be as easy to land, especially with DePaul University. The high ground positioning working really well for them. They also have the double bubble that's going to protect them a little bit more.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Bastion also come out and be met with a Graviton. Echo Local holding it in their pocket. High ground Bastion, however, going to be a danger from afar. Icarus going to get taken down in the back of the courtyard. DePaul University now down one. Primal Rage onto the high ground from Chronos, trying to get something done if they can. No ultimates online for UT Arlington. They are going to have their window of opportunity from Super Juice on pretty soon, and they're going to set that up at the back with a teleport from Dude and let him unleash. Able to find one, but an Echo not gonna find its intended target. Does get the Echo out the Bastion, and the kill does come through at the very end from DePaul, trying to stop the res. Isn't gonna happen. The Bastion is gonna be able to get online, and Colby's gonna get away as well. That payload bound for that first point, going to be able to find it. UT Arlington looking like they've got a little bit more oomph in their step this time around.
A few more kills coming from DePaul University, but they already lost that checkpoint that they wanted to hold for longer. Now, UT Arlington, they can take the space that they need. They know that DePaul University has to go all the way back, and they're going to take this high ground, which we were talking about. The stairs are going to benefit them for longer, but definitely has to give more space for UT Arlington here.
With that opening kill, they're going to have to expend the res from Colby going into this next point. And here at point 2, this is what we were talking about. This is going to be one of the most difficult points to get past on Rialto. However, if you've got momentum, that can change the name of the game. And that's exactly what UT Arlington has right now, even able to bring Lortler out onto this Hammond.
Yeah, they're just trying to play this carefully, but in the meantime, the payload is going to keep moving. They're passing this corner. DePaul University are not going to have a little opportunity here. The Mercy gets taken down, and this is just a tragedy. No one else is able to peek from the side of DePaul University without getting taken down by this Bastion.
Oh, and it's going to take a nano boosted Winston to get into the back line for UT Arlington in order for DePaul University to get a little bit of purchase. But Dude once again on this Bastion, dealing with everything that has been thrown at the Omnic. And I mean, right now DePaul University, the compositions worked for 3 maps or 2 maps, but it's not working against the Bastion. The Winston's dying too quickly. The D.Va can't stay in the mech.
Yeah, they want to play what's meta, but at this point you just have to play to counter it. Arlington, this Bastion is playing so aggressive, getting so much value. They have to make a change here.
Dude taking the aggressive positioning, if you will, finds Prime into the back line as they're trying to get onto the healers. And DePaul University continuing to get snowballed here. 2 minutes and 13 seconds for UT Arlington. They don't have a large time bank, but that doesn't really matter. The payload is getting pushed. Doot able to find the teleport out of the path of the dragon, still dishing out damage, trying to find the diva. And the healing still coming in. A minefield even, just to make sure that the Winston can't dive the Bastion.
There's so much support for this Bastion. No one wants to let him get taken down, and that's UT Arlington's momentum. Finally, seems like they're going to get this point right away.
Yeah, another ultimate from Doot to seal and put the final nail into the coffin. Finds the Echo on the baby diva. Prime getting taken down twice, almost 3 times in the kill feed. There it is. And with that, Doot just gonna sit on the back of the payload as this Bastion. Has the teleport if they want to go up, but doesn't really need to.
Yeah, now you know you can trust that your team is going to get the last kill. There you go, crowd knows gets taken down. UT Arlington with a very impressive but also unexpected attack. 1 minute 16 seconds remaining for them and DePaul University. What are you gonna do now?
I mean, do you return in kind? Do you bring out the Bastion of your own?
Yeah, if this was my competitive games, I would definitely do that. But
oh yeah.
I don't know if DePaul University, I mean, did they want to risk it? It seems like they were really comfortable playing that composition with a double bubble. But now, I mean, the Echo was able to get some value, but then UT Arlington just caught up to the Echo's positioning and took her down over and over again. So it's getting harder. DePaul University, I would definitely just go for the same approach. I would just go Bastion and see if we can also do the same thing.
Coming out. See what the defense is from UT Arlington. Dez. Interesting to see the Doomfist as the option.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the biggest fan of Doomfist. I just don't think it's the best hero, or even close to the top DPS that you can play in the current state of Overwatch. Very risky, and we already saw it before. Des got taken down immediately when we saw it, then switched to Sombra. Maybe he can get more value this time, but it's not going to be easy.
5, 4, 3.
Definitely have confidence in Chronos. You know, no Bastion to face them on the defense. So they don't have to go through some sort of ridiculous amount of burst damage. The Reinhardt from Lortler, however, up against the Shatter Arrow, as well as, you know, High Charge Zarya. That shield may not survive for too long. The Doomfist already getting found out. Doot as well, falling into a 1v1 with Prime. Already gonna have to use that recall. Blinks are blinked out. 63 health. Needs a health pack or some help. Able to find it. DePaul University almost losing their main tank as the payload hits this first corner. UT Arlington have their first chance to really staunchly defend this payload.
DePaul University really needing the main tank to push forward, but now not being as easy with their Reinhardt and the Zarya creating the space. The Doomfist as well trying to get this kill. Oh.
Not able to find the Tracer. Prime blinking away at just the right moments every single time. A bit like Coyote trying to find that Roadrunner. Prime not letting anybody get away.
Yeah, good job from Prime as well. And now they will be taking the first point, it seems like, but UT Arlington hasn't given up just yet. They're going to recontest it here. Oh. Almost worked. DePaul University, they seem to try to take a little bit of space here, but UT Arlington now also making the changes. They see that Doomfist is not working, now going to Tracer. We're talking about Dez and the different heroes they can play. Now bringing the Tracer, trying to get also that 1v1 to be more effective against Prime.
And right now, UT Arlington, regardless of what a smooth attack they had, time was not on their side. DePaul was able to hold that first point pretty well, and right now UTA's defense is just being decimated by the Dragons. Icarus.
5.
What?
Icarus gets 5 kills. Those Dragons, and also just getting a few more kills by himself. That's going to be enough for DePaul University to get second. I don't think anyone from UT Arlington can do anything. They brought the Bastion before but now DePaul University, they can also bring the heroes that they're good at.
Coming into this next corner, Chronos has the Primal Rage, and they have the Nano Boost online. UT Arlington needs to be able to put together a minimal defense. Maybe pull out a couple ultimates, maybe just use the Shatter, and then give the Nano to the Reinhardt and get the Shatter back. They need to be a bit creative with those ultimates so that their ult bank doesn't get hurt too much. There goes the Nano Boost, and they're going to commit the Shatter. The Shatter's only going to find a couple as the Pulse Bomb comes out. They're going to have to commit the Graviton as well from UT Arlington. Prime finding one with the Pulse Bomb, a second onto Creates, as Creates finds Prime, a bit of a trade, if you will. But on that Echo, they're going to be able to push a lot of members of DePaul University back, and UT Arlington, for the first time, it seems, here on Rialto, have been able to stop the progress of the payload.
A lot of time remaining for DePaul University, though, 4 minutes 40 seconds. That's more than enough that they could ask for. In DePaul University, they just need to build the ultimate economy again and try to push UT Arlington. They're trying to do anything for this defense, but it's not being as effective. Finally, some control here, though.
Yeah, I remember even seeing members of Arlington get a little bit over-aggressive there at the very beginning. Dez mainly going after them all in the backline on that Tracer, and we've seen that hurt UT Arlington before. With 4 minutes and 12 seconds left for DePaul University, the Pulse Bomb is expended from Dez, but not going to find any kills into the back. Lordler, however, going to find their counterpart. Chronos out of the fight completely, and the backup has been called, but the Shatter is going to come through, and it, kills Echo Loco, but shattering a single person when you've still got 3 minutes and 50 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, quite a lot of time remaining for DePaul University, and finally, with that fight, they were able to build the ultimate economy they was waiting for. In the meantime, UT Arlington, they just used the Shatter, and with those changes that they're making, it doesn't seem like they're going to have the advantage here. DePaul University, they have to be very smart here. They can try to get a Pulse Bomb here, maybe the Dragon's Den, they can do the same thing again.
And you can see Creates trying to get that Graviton charged up as quickly as possible. And sadly, the Transcendence is there. The Dragons and Pulse Bomb, however, don't care. Prime able to find two. Grabs that third one there onto Lordler, and DePaul University now have paved their way to the final moments of Rialto. Prime will get taken out there a little bit by a couple of cheeky headshots from Super Juice. But now with a Reinhardt pushing up through the spawn door, UT Arlington back against the wall, need to bring something to the table, and a Nano Hammond is exactly what I want to see! I never get to see the Nano Hammond in real play, and now it's here, ladies and gentlemen. As Lordler tries to keep the stall alive, the Graviton will come out and take Zeph out of the fight. So the Nano Hammond able to give enough of a distraction to get the Graviton out. However, the damage just not there right now for UT Arlington. DePaul University still moving their payload forward here in these final moments. Pulse Bomb out, shield up, so no damage coming through as Chronos mighty low on the Reinhardt, but not getting focused down by UT Arlington as their respawn's finally coming through. Chronos gets the Nano, and two with the charge. Absolutely insane. Gonna be building up this Shatter if they can. Swinging away at Dez. D-suit onto the D as well. There's another 3, 4, 5 kills coming through for DePaul University on this attack. It's really just a couple of pesky DPS remaining from UT Arlington, keeping it alive on the point, but the respawns are still coming through, and Crow is still finding kills with these charges. Dez able to find one with the Pulse Bomb, and that's going to put a light on the horizon for UT Arlington as the kills come through, but nobody can kill Crow. You've got to deal with this Reinhardt. He's just swinging away for free right now.
Yeah, finally gets taken down. That was insane from Chronos. Almost made it, but a little bit more risky now. Very long fight. They're about to get point. And now they have to go again. They have another push. They have the EMP though. EMP with the Shadow that Cardinals is about to get should be enough for DePaul University to take the point. They just have to make it effective, and they have to make it soon.
Now the Doom Fist makes a little bit more sense as we go into these close quarters final fights. Doing a very good job of deterring DePaul University from going anywhere, but sadly does do the ground and pound into the swinging hammer of Chronos. And now with only 3 members left, UT Arlington put back into a bad spot as the kills come through. The respawns are going to be there, but only for a few seconds longer. DePaul University now working with a deficit. Crow, I don't even understand why DePaul University has DPS with a Reinhardt like this.
Oh, but gets taken down at the end, and this is going to be one more fight. DePaul University, they were doing so good, but finally no one else is able to keep DePaul Nose and alive. And now UT Arlington, they have the momentum. They don't want to give them any space. It seems like there's going to be a delayed push here.
If they can take Crow out of this fight, they have the chance at evening up the score. A lot of ultimates, however, online for DePaul University coming into this next fight. And just that pulse bomb to stop it. The nano boost not going to be there, and a big source of healing getting taken out of the equation. The shatter as well didn't land. DPU, DePaul University, up against dire straits as they find that initial kill on to Duke to start things off and get the D-Net onto Creates. They've begun to give themselves a little bit of hope as the respawns are no longer going to be as quick as they once were. DePaul University able to find the kills they need and in overtime capture this third point. Just have to mitigate a couple of DPS and this pesky diva. But the respawns for UT Arlington are just not going to be quick enough. They might be able to get a Hammond or a Tracer back onto the point. But other than that, it's going to be a bit of an uphill battle. All of the bodies on DePaul's favor as they take the point.
Hickory is just doing everything on this hands of getting those kills, gets 3, but now they still have to clean it up. DePaul University is so close to getting this point. It's just those respawns that are not benefiting them at all. UT Arlington trying to the minefield though.
Yeah, the minefield could be the differentiating factor here, but the big self-destruction Creates is going to clear off the front of the payload. Front of the payload, okay, Lord, they're not going to have a lot of room to spin to win. The Dragons over the payload are going to push people back. UT Arlington continuing with the defense. DePaul University so close on the attack. The kills finally coming through. Echo Loco got what they needed, and Icarus with the final kill. They'll have a minute, but UT Arlington's going to have time and confidence coming into this next bro.
They definitely made it, but God, DePaul University definitely struggling a lot into the last point. It was the hands of getting a few kills. We already talked about Crown Nose as well, creating the space necessary for his team, making the biggest difference. And now they only have a minute remaining. UT Arlington has 2:16. UT Arlington, there's a chance that we might see the Bastion again.
I would not be surprised to see the Bastion again because it did work. However, if I'm UT Arlington, I'm throwing a wrench in the mix. DePaul expects the Bastion. Or sorry, yeah. DePaul expects a change-up. They don't expect you. I don't think they expect UT Arlington to bring the Bastion out the gate for a second time. And so I say stick with it. It's 2 minutes 16 seconds. You're on the defensive side now. If you can keep them from passing halfway point there in the courtyard, you know, get the payload into open area, that Bastion on attack is going to be absolutely insane.
Yeah, now we have to see. We already see the defense they're going to hold for UT Arlington. The Reinhardt and the Zarya, a little bit risky to play this Reinhardt, but something that they decided to commit to against DePaul University. They don't have a lot of time remaining again, so anytime, by the time they get to the first checkpoint, that might be over time already.
Hey there.
Dez tracking that Tracer down at the beginning of this fight, making sure that the Tracer couldn't find any sort of purchase and pairing up with their Zenyatta to take Prime out. UTA doing a good job on the defense already. 16 seconds left for DePaul University. And UT Arlington controlling the story.
Yeah, 2 kills though. The Zarya from DePaul University gets 2, but can they even get more? It's going to be very risky now. Everyone trying to touch point. It's Lucio again. UT Arlington trying to create the space that they need.
And with their Reinhardt trapped in a corner, trying to charge out to safety, is able to do so. Prime once again falling to the Sombra as Creates grabs Chronos and takes them out of the fight. DePaul University down to a 4-man squad as the grab of Dragons is now expended. A little bit late, however, and the kills from UT Arlington have already landed. It's overtime, and UT Arlington has a very, very reachable goal.
really good defense here. They took advantage of the time that DePaul had, only 1 minute, and that's not enough, especially on this map. UT Arlington now, with double the time that DePaul University had, now they have an attack, and like we were talking about, now this is the possibility for them to either bring the same composition that we just saw, or to bring the Bastion if they feel like they need to, but it seems like in any way, DePaul University, they have to be very, very smart about the defense.
I mean, look at that payload. It's barely got anywhere.
Ready for battle.
That beautiful golden box. That's the goal for UT Arlington, and with 2 minutes and 16 seconds, Bastion composition or not, it's not necessarily a rare thing to see the payload past that threshold. And they've got, you know, a minute more in time, and we're not seeing anything especially cheeky coming out from DePaul University, except for Icarus deciding to forego range completely and opt for that Reaper.
Yeah, DePaul University, it seems like they want to hold a little bit closer, and this is very risky. They either get it or they just don't get it at all. UT Arlington, they want to bring the Bastion again, it seems like, so their double shield is going to be hard to pass through.
Oh no, the teleporter up to the high ground is gonna put Bastion behind DePaul, and he's gonna have to kind of fiddle around a little bit to find the right angle. Chrono's trying to find the Omnic out, isn't able to do so, has to turn to shield the rest of the team, but the Bastion will die, and the rest of the team from UT Arlington pushed back all the way into spawn as the kills come through for DePaul. And like you said, they either get it or they don't, and right now, they're getting it. UTA not able to leave their spawn.
I really like the risk that DePaul University is trying to commit here, and it's working out in the meantime, but the high ground definitely going for UT Arlington. I just want to see what they do here, and it's going to be that teleporter.
Yeah, trying to get the Bastion a little bit extra range to get some purchase, but good defending from DePaul, just underneath. They're not giving any sort of, you know, ult charge or damage or avenue of attack to UT Arlington on this high ground. They've already shaved off that extra minute that UT had, and now it's an even ball game. Ultimate's coming online as well for DePaul University. The teleported Bastion doesn't really matter. Able to send there some extra. There you go, back to the point to find yourself a little bit of distance at least on that payload. But other than that, UTA struggling right now. DePaul University against all odds and with a pretty slow attack. Almost able to hold at the spawn doors.
Yeah, UT Arlington finally, with those teleporters, they made a difference. They went into the back lane, they got a few kills, and now, can DePaul University even touch here?
It's going to be up to the Hammond to get there, but the burst damage coming down from the pile drive plus the Bastion. Not going to be surprised to see UT Arlington take this. A good Symmetra wall to keep their Bastion a little bit safer. The Reaper not going to be able to dish out the burst damage, but looks like Zephy on that Lucio going to be able to find it. Mortaler gets 2 with that pound. And UT Arlington going to be pushing us to a 5th map.
It doesn't seem real. They brought the Bastion. It didn't seem like it was going to work on that second round, but it did, and it worked out perfectly for them. DePaul University, they did a really good job. I respect to see how aggressive they wanted to play, especially in this 4th round, but it worked out really well. Now, UT Arlington brings us to a 2-2, is going to be defining that last map.
Absolutely breathtaking. I mean, we said it based on what we've seen from DePaul. UT really had to pull out the stops in order to find themselves a win, and that's exactly what you saw. That defense was absolutely incredible. That overtime fight took forever just based off of being able to, you know, get somebody on the point, you know, fight for a little bit, die, get the next person out there. Just keep doing it until that clock is at 0, and we'll have a bit of an advantage and able to use that to win it out.
Yeah, it was really good to see. I think both teams, they brought things that we weren't really expecting, and it almost worked out for both of them. It was just unfortunately only one of them is able to win, and in this case, it's going to be UT Arlington. But we're still even, and on this control map, we saw UT Arlington taking that first control map, but it was very close. So anything can happen here, really.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what these teams do. Like you said, last control map was an absolute brawl, so I expect nothing else from Busan as we come back after this break. I said it was a short break, and that's exactly what it was. We are getting ready to come into map 5 on Busan. Ladies and gentlemen, 2-2. DePaul Esports versus UTA Esports. Which one's going to come out on top? Dryad, we talked about it just very briefly before the break, but let's kind of visit that first map again. When it came down to it, both of these teams just barely kind of edging above the other.
Yeah, any of them can win here, and I think we've seen so many heroes, so many different compositions that here in Busan is going to be defined. We can see if we go to Mecha base, we can see a little bit more of that brawl that both of the teams like to play. But here, starting out, more of what we've been expecting, that Winston Zarya that have definitely made a difference. I think UT Arlington can benefit more out of this Zarya and getting value out of this hero. But DePaul University definitely benefits out of the space that Crowd knows he's able to get. So honestly, it couldn't be more exciting to see who is going to take the advantage here.
Well, right now, it's not just because I'm from Texas, but I'm rooting for UT Arlington. They're sporting the Hammond. He's my favorite hero, so go UT. Let's do this. This is your moment. But Lordler, going in for a bit of a distraction, isn't able to find too much purchase, and is in a bit of a tricky spot. Goes back through for the hit onto the Ana, doesn't land it, however. But Zeph able to find that opening kill for DePaul University onto Dez. A quick answer back from Duke for UT Arlington as they put it down, and Prime getting into the back line. So now, Arlington going to have to find themselves a big pick if they want to grab the first point.
Yeah, a few more kills coming through for both sides, but DePaul University, they did get the kills at the end, and with those tanks, they're able to take control of the point. UT Arlington now, they have to regroup. They did have to get the other wrecking ball, but it seems like from the minute that we saw Lorthor getting stalked, they just couldn't really recover from that. Now they have another opportunity.
Another opportunity indeed, at 50% already to the minefield. Lordler will be able to bring that up pretty quickly. It's just a matter of getting into the fight and getting the damage that they want. The pile drive able to find one, but not the second. And only at 76%, the Hammond really not charging up as quickly as I'd like to see. The ults for DePaul, however, are coming online in space. They have their Transcendence. They've got the Nano Boost ready, but the kills for UT are coming in a bit quicker. Duke and Lordler pairing up to absolutely just stuff damage into the face of DePaul University.
Yeah, it was also really good anti-nade, but UT Arlington able to take control of the point now. DePaul University couldn't have it for longer. It seems like it's going to be the same situation that we saw before. The team's getting the point back and forth, and what really makes a difference is the ultimate economy. Both of the teams looking really good here, but the one who's going to initiate is going to make the difference.
Yeah, Graviton from Ecoloco, the thing to look out for right now for DePaul. You see that minefield from Lordler pop out and the Transcendence to make sure no one dies. DePaul now in the response. Prime misses the pulse bomb, finds nothing. Dez looking for the tactical visor. Aimbot activated, getting booped around and taxied by the opposing Winston to find those 2 kills. Oh man, I'd love to know what comms look like right now for DePaul University.
That was an insane... we saw that ultimate ability with the soldier out of nowhere getting 2 kills, and UT Arlington able to take control of the situation again just because of that. Definitely not something that Crowdnose was expecting when moving and booping deaths around, but I mean, hey, it definitely worked for UT Arlington. They're not going to complain here. They did use quite a lot of ultimates though now. The Nano has to go from the side of DePaul as soon as possible.
Oh, and a beautiful combination of using that grapple as well as the pound coming through from Lortler. Create's able to find one with that juice and jumping through a small window. Crow knows. Getting into the back line of UT Arlington. DePaul has taken the point back, so they are building percentage right now. But honestly, nobody from DePaul University is really doing anything about Super Juice in the back line. The Senyata has just been able to sit back, heal, and toss these Discords out with relative freedom.
Yeah, out of all heroes that we've seen Super Juice play, Senyata has to be the top one so far. Getting close to getting taken out from the Dragons, but also able to stay alive. UT Arlington still gets us 75%, gets it back again, and now they also have the minefield to create the space that they need. Seems like they do have the momentum as well to get their point.
And ult-wise, DePaul University not in a very good spot right now. With 90% and counting, UT Arlington 2 ultimates on board. They're definitely prepped for this fight. Good choice from Lurtler to kind of duck out a little bit early on that Hammond going through that little window. There goes the mind fit onto point as the contest comes through. Just waiting. Lurtler was just waiting for the members of DePaul University to move towards the point for a contest and positioned that minefield perfectly.
UT Arlington, this might be the same scenario that we saw in Control, and they definitely say a lot of things about Control maps when you follow the Overwatch scene, is that if you're good at Control, then you already have the match pretty much won and going to your side because you're already winning 2 of the maps that are established in any Overwatch set. So for DePaul University, they're trying to fight against it. They're trying to also get the Control map for themselves, and they've gotten pretty close, but it hasn't been close enough. DePaul University, one thing to mention though is that the Ryan Saria, this is something that they like to play, and finally they're able to bring it.
This is definitely, yeah, like I said, DePaul's chance to answer back is right now. But Dude on the May can be an absolute tear here on this point. You're seeing Prime already on that McCree getting kind of pushed around by Dez, who found Icarus off very, very early. DePaul University now without their May, now without their Lucio. Dez unrelenting on the Doomfist, able to avoid the charge from Crow Nose and find the kill. An absolute terror and a very quick start for UT Arlington.
Yeah, that's just creating the space as well, along with the tanks. And with that, UT Arlington once again having the momentum going on for them. DePaul University having to regroup, but being a little bit more difficult with this Doomfist playing so aggressive.
I mean, postured up for the next fight. After that, if you're DePaul University, you're going, all right, Prime got some damage in. Icarus not really able to get much done just yet. We need to find a new way to come about this, and that's not the way to do it. Dez able to find FM out very early on, using the May wall to their advantage. A quick meteor strike just to get in and out of that bad situation, and the chase is on. Prime, get out of there. Able to find one before they do.
Yeah, Prime gets 2 kills, but definitely not going to be enough as the rest of his team got taken down. DePaul University still have a couple opportunities, but the percentage for UT Arlington, it keeps going up.
Yeah, 45% and counting. Prime using that Deadeye and you know, hoping that somebody steps out of line, but you know, it's the 5th map. Everybody's on fire. Everybody's all warmed up. You can't expect those mistakes to find you kills. Super Juice, however, now into the Lucio, almost up with that sound barrier. Echo Loco getting stuck on the wall there and getting taken out.
Oh, and the opportunities for DePaul University, they turn into less and less opportunities to take the advantage here and to take the point. They have a few ultimates coming through now. They're going to have the Gravity Surge, they're also going to have the Nano, but so far they haven't been as effective as we would want to see. UT Arlington, with this Doomfist, they have to shut him down.
And doing a fantastic job, Dez, of controlling the doorway. While DePaul's trying to get in there, a big freeze comes through as well as the shatter. Oh, UT Arlington are looking to put this to bed right here and right now.
It's to the 99, not even overtime, and just like that, UT Arlington take this match, but they definitely took us to the distance.
Took us the distance. I don't even feel like accurately says what happened. This was a gauntlet of games right now between DePaul University and UT Arlington.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect it. I expected it to be close, but not this close. And UT Arlington, they just were able to take advantage of those maps, like those control maps that we saw at the beginning, at the end, and that made the whole difference. If DePaul University was able to have those proper engagements on this map, he could have taken the map. It was so close, and definitely shows we don't see very often any 2 teams here in EGF taking us to 5 maps. And the fact that these 2 teams did definitely prove us something.
Yeah, these teams definitely evenly matched, and coming out of their records so far, it's pretty much tail and tail. So I'm happy to see that we had such a good matchup. Congratulations to UT Arlington for taking the day. DePaul University, it just barely slipped through your fingers. So make sure that you're watching that VOD footage. But were there any notes that you had on the teams, on their play before we sign off?
No, I mean, I'm very excited to see what they're gonna bring next. This is they've been doing good, but now this is a whole other level for these two teams. So we just have to wait for the next couple weeks and see if they can keep up this performance.
Well, we're going to get a little bit of an insight into UT Arlington's team with a quick interview coming up, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Have we got a super treat for you? We've got Super Juice lined up for an interview. Dryad, I'm definitely happy to pick this brain. Super Juice, how are you?
Doing good.
Congratulations on your win, man. That was a gauntlet of a series.
Oh yeah, it was. We didn't expect that.
So I wanted to ask about Busan, just because it's the one map that plagues me in my solo queue play. But compared to the first control map of the series, that second control map was just a complete flip. You guys were completely dominant. What changed?
We started to not play monkey comp. Basically, it seemed like we're having some type of disconnect between the team and our tanks. So we just decided to play different comps that relied more on individual skill, and I think that helped a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dryad?
it definitely hurt a lot, and I do have two questions for you. The first one being, so we saw you playing a couple of different heroes on the support line for your team, but the minute that we saw you really popping off was when you were playing that Zenyatta. Is this your best hero? Is this something you feel comfortable with? Because from what I just heard, first you were kind of trying to adapt to that Winston composition, then you decided to play your own. Is that kind of also helping you out playing that Zenyatta?
Oh yeah, it's like a huge difference when I play Brig and Zen. With Zen, I can actually hold my own and get frags as well. But with Brig, I have to play more with my team and kind of communicate a lot more. But that's for a different type of composition. So
Yeah. Yeah, and tell me a little bit about that Bastion composition that we saw. We have to talk about it.
Okay, so yesterday in scrims, we kind of were playing around and we just ran the Bastion comp for like no reason, just to have fun, I guess. And it actually worked. So we said, screw it, we're not like the monkey comp is not working. Why don't we just run the Bastion comp and see how it goes? And it actually did
worked.
decently well.
Yeah, that was a blast to watch.
It was if you guys heard comms, you would have been laughing. This is so dumb.
I mean, congratulations for pulling that off. That's something that not many teams are able to do, but I mean, really, really good job. Do you have any shout outs you want to give to your team, to anyone that's watching?
Shout outs to the whole team, I guess. We really pulled it out and got our heads back in from those 2 map losses in the middle. So I'm proud of them for that.
Well, you guys did an absolutely fantastic job, and thank you so much for coming on to the show to have a little bit of a talk with us and give us that insight. I really wish that we would have gotten to hear some of those team comms.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Super Juice from UT Arlington are victors for today. We've got a couple more matches lined up for you later this evening. We've got, I believe we have RIT versus Niagara University, as well as St. Peter's facing off against Siena College. Sadly, not going to be able to see that University of Colorado game, but you know what? We've got plenty of Overwatch for you, and Dryad is going to be sticking around to give you that action. I, however, am going to be moving to the EGF Overwatch channel to cast those games. So please stay tuned. We've got more Overwatch coming up next. And remember a couple of things while I leave you. Stay safe, don't be toxic, and have a wonderful evening.